fellow diecasters, and welcome to another Hot Wheels Therapy episode here on Diecast Insanity. Your therapist is here to talk to you guys about collecting. Thought I'd just give you guys some of my background. I'm 49 years old. I was born April 28th, 1968, so I am almost as old as Hot Wheels. I've always had Hot Wheels from the very moment forward. I have cars in my collection all the way back to 68. Some of them are from my originally mine from the very beginning. So I've had them my entire life. There's been times where I've had Hot Wheels. I've never gotten rid of any of my Hot Wheels, but there has been times where my Hot Wheel collecting has just either dipped to like very, very little or none at all, depending on what Hot Wheels has out at the time. You guys know how it is. You get interested and then you kind of lose interest and then you come back to it. I have found out through my entire life that has happened. I've been focused on one thing and that kind of wanes and something takes its place for a little while, but I've never really dumped something for something else. I've always kept it on the back burner and I've always come back to it, like slot cars and Hot Wheels and bicycle racing. I've always kind of done full circles and come back around. This is the first time in my life that I've actually had two things going at the same time, between the Hot Wheel collecting and the slot car stuff, that I've focused on two things. I'm trying to keep the intensity between the two of them the same, but sometimes it's kind of hard to, because one thing starts to take the focus away from the other. So, but I've always had cars. I've always collected Hot Wheels. I kind of, of course, the high school years, I kind of stepped away from it for a while. I still got Hot Wheels at Christmas and here and there, and I might have bought a few here and there. And then after high school, I moved to Phoenix, and it was like a 9-month stretch where I didn't buy any Hot Wheels, and I didn't even have my Hot Wheels with me. That's kind of that would be my dark period, if you guys catch my meaning. That's when I went dark on Hot Wheels. I didn't buy any. I didn't have any with me when I was down in Phoenix going to school. So that whole 9-month period was kind of my black period for Hot Wheels. I came home, went to school here in town. Went to a technical school here in town for graphic arts, and then kind of got, started buying stuff again, kind of trickling around. Moved to Spokane after graduating from my technical school I went to. Buying little things here and there. I had my Hot Wheels with me then. That kind of didn't pan out. Didn't really find any work and was still working, but decided to come back home. And just started, and that's when the collecting started picking back up again. Early mid 90s, I moved into my own place, and then kind of really took off from there. Started getting really heavy into Hot Wheels, collecting them hard again. And then I met my wife, and she knows that I collect and that I have them, but kind of trickled down a little bit. I wasn't buying a whole hell of a lot, and at that time period, I met her in 98 or 99, and then she moved up here in 99. And the early 2000s weren't a very good time for Hot Wheels for me. There wasn't a whole lot that I really liked. So my collecting then kind of reduced, and then kind of been trickling back up to the point we're at right now, where I'm really back collecting hard. Elijah's collecting pretty hard when he has the money. So we're kind of back to that point again, but I love this hobby. I love cars. My dad was a huge car guy. That's what got me into it, and I love automobiles. I don't have the money to invest in a classic car or a car that I really, really want outside of my main transportation car. So this is how I collect cars, and this is how I collect vintage cars, is with the Hot Wheels. That's my that's my car kick right there, is the Hot Wheels. And you don't need a big garage for them either, so that's a good thing there too. But I kind of focus on racing cars, hot rods, muscle cars, and then I have some trucks, and I like exotics. I'm a big Ferrari fan, as you guys know, so got quite a few Ferraris. And then anything that just grabs me and says I have to have it. So that's my base of my cars in my collection is exotics, muscle cars, hot rods, race cars, and then just the other side stuff that I have, trucks and some other stuff that just grab me and then say I have to have them. So um, I've always been with these cars. They've always been with me. I've gave a few away, traded a couple away, but not a lot. I have bought some recently strictly for trade that I already have in the collection that I can trade out for some other stuff that I want, but I've never really traded anything that has a grasp on me. I've never given anything away that has meaning to me. Some of these cars that I have, they're never going to leave because I can't get rid of them. It's just they're too important to me. More than likely, most of this collection will go to Elijah, but we'll have to see when that time comes because I don't plan to leave anytime soon. I'm going to be here for a while, so that's kind of where I come from. I've also collected other brands of cars. I have some Matchbox. I have some Tomei pocket cars that were kind of saved from the just a lot of my cars when Elijah was born. A lot of my stuff that wasn't collectible anymore that were mine as a kid went to him. So he still has some of those. So, but they were all beat up and everything, so they weren't display worthy. But that they went there, and the collector cars, I kept the ones that were in great shape that were mine, that were part of my collection. And that's where he gets it from. He gets it from me. So it's good to keep the kids in the hobby, keep Hot Wheels going, keep Mattel in business, keep the Hot Wheel thing going. The things that they've come out with lately, the car culture cars. I love the car culture cars. Some of the pop culture stuff is not very interesting, but some of it's really cool. So I've been collecting some of that. Some of the things I don't have any boulevards because I never saw any around here. I don't remember them being anywhere here in town. Some of the other series that I don't have is like the Larry's Garage cars. I saw them, but I didn't buy a lot of them because at the time that was kind of during my lull time of Hot Wheels, and I wasn't buying a whole hell of a lot. So I'm a little regretting that now because there is some out there that I would really love of that class, and a couple of the Garage series that I would really love to have. I did buy a few of the speed machines. I've got like 4 of them. Looking to buy a couple other ones to add to the collection. I bought them when they first come out, but I didn't buy a lot of the variants in it because I didn't want to have that, and some of them were duplicates of the Ferraris that I already had, so I didn't really pick those up either. But I'm kind of toying with picking up a few of those. Something else that I didn't really buy was I do have a few 100% cars. Some of them I bought. Probably the most of them now, like these, have come from Craig. Most of these were in the time frame, though the expensive cars like the Hall of Fame cars and that were in a time when we didn't have a lot of money. So I didn't have a lot of money to spend on, $4 and $5 cars. My collection was mainly in the mainline collection, so dollar cars and stuff was what, during that early part of my marriage from like 2000 to like 07, 08 was really just trying to buy what I could afford. So I don't have a lot of the expensive cars. That's why I only have, let's see, I've got two 100% cars that were bought after my marriage. I have a couple that I bought before I was married. I've got a 2-car Corvette set that I bought. I've got a 3-car Richard Petty set that I bought before I got married, and then after that, some of those were I couldn't afford to pick them up, so that's why I don't have them. And now that I've got a little more money, I'm looking to get those cars into my collection. So that's a little about me. I thought I'd come out there and just put that out there to you guys. The therapist spilling out to you guys about his love of the hobby and how I got started. And I didn't really get started. I was born into it. That's kind of what it was. I was a little boy, and my parents bought me Hot Wheels, and it was a love from that moment on, and it just never left. So that's where mine comes from. It comes from my parents, and they started it. My dad being a car guy and giving me Hot Wheels and getting me off into the car thing, and that's where my love comes from, and it's just never really left. It's died down a little bit from time to time, but it's never really left. It's always been there in the back of my mind that Hot Wheels are just something that are cool, and when you see one, it's like, oh, I gotta have that. You know, that feeling, that feeling where you just have to have that car because it's so cool. And there's a few out coming that are going to be really awesome, and hopefully I can pick them up. I'm still looking for another ice charger. This was one that when I saw it. These two here, particularly this year, were the two that I saw that I was like, oh, I gotta have it. And then when I saw this one, it's like, oh, that one's cool. And then the ice charger, another cool one. So those are sweet. So, but you know, that's my story, and I hope you guys are having a good week. And be on lookout for some more videos, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.